Hey, beautiful. It's Risa coming to you live on Friday for some heart to heart conversation. This is for you today, darling. If you are feeling really unhappy and disappointed and just frustrated and even maybe resentful, you're not happy in your relationship and you're in this place where you're trying to figure out maybe if you can still make it work, or you're just really struggling with this question of whether or not you want to stay in it. So I'm going to give you a really, really powerful mindset shift today to help you get on the path to finding that clarity you need and the happiness that you deserve. You guys ready for a mindset shift? Type in, by the way, darling. Say hello if you're here, or if you're on the recording, type in any questions, comments as we go along. I'll be watching for those. So, if you know my story, you know I was married for a long time to a man who struggled with alcoholism and depression, and I learned a lot about myself through that experience and what it takes to be in a healthy relationship. And I have to tell you that, I just didn't even realize until he started really struggling with all of that alcoholism and depression that how much I was depending on him to be my source of security, of happiness, of well-being. And everything, I just was constantly being let down. I was constantly feeling disappointed. Maybe your situation's different, but maybe you feel like that in your relationship, right? Your partner, they're just not showing up for you in the way that you want them to. And so the mistake that I made and that I see most people making is that, what is the problem with this? Then we're making our own well-being dependent on how another person is showing up, the choices they're making, and how they're behaving. And so I don't know about you, but I really learned that I cannot anymore make my well-being dependent on other people and how they're going to choose to show up. And, now looking back on it, I realize my expectations were just really not realistic. It's like I wanted him to show up and be there for me and, be that rock for me when he he wasn't even able to do that for himself. And so this is my invitation for you today, is that I think, this is an invitation for us to take back our power, to just recognize that I'm responsible. I'm responsible for my own well-being, for my own happiness. And as long as I'm looking to someone else outside of me to get that, then I'm really giving away my power, and I'm putting myself not in such a good position, right? Because then I'm at the mercy of them and how they're behaving and how they're choosing to show up. And it's like we all need to sort of learn how can we be resourced from within ourselves. And so that's the big mistake that we're sort of taught. That's how we do relationship. It's like, oh, we look to other people to complete us and give us that sense of love and security. And it's perfectly fine to want that, but it's when we're first, we need to get that from ourselves, right? We need to be able to show up as the whole beautiful, free, sovereign women that we are. This is the work that I've been doing on myself, and that I'm really here to hopefully support you and as well. So type in if this is resonating with you. This is how I want to feel in my life, in my relationship. It's like, would you be willing to just stop making your happiness dependent on another person? It's like, oh, I'm gonna let you off the hook right now. I'm gonna take back my responsibility. It's our own responsibility, right? Right. Happiness is an inside job. And you know what? Even if someone was showing up in the way that you wanted to, they, first of all, can't do that 100% of the time, anyways. But even if they were, when we're needing that from other people, it only gets us so far. It's like what we really crave on the deepest level is to be in alignment with ourselves and our truth. Would you agree? Type in yes if that feels true for you. I want to show up in really good, right, loving relationship with myself. And I know that's we're not taught how to do that. Actually, we come in born loving ourselves as kids, and it gets sort of conditioned out of us. And that's, that's the work. That's the transformational work now that that I love to that I do with myself, and that I love to help other people with. Is then, well, how do we come back into good, right, loving relationship with ourselves? And I'll just give you a couple real quick tips today. But first of all, is just honoring how we feel, right? And I'm not saying that if you're unhappy in your relationship, I'm not saying that there aren't things that would need to change in order for you to want to stay and be happy. And I'm definitely not saying that you should be accepting any kind of unacceptable behavior, but it's on us. It's on us to take back our power to choose how we want to respond. And as long as we're focused on trying to get that other person to change, to blame, to, when we're blaming others and we're so focused on what they need to be doing differently, then it just doesn't work that way. And we end up staying stuck in this sense of frustration and disappointment. So this is the invitation. Would you be willing to kind of let your partner off the hook and be like, you know what? You're no longer responsible for my happiness. I am in charge of how I want to, of my own well-being, and how I want to choose to show up for myself. So one is just honoring how we feel. It's okay. However you feel is okay right now. And wherever you're at, it's okay. And there is opportunity for learning and growth from whatever situation you're in. That's the good news, right? And then, I would invite you to ask, this is a really interesting question, is just to help you get a little more clarity, like, what is it that I'm not getting from my partner that I really want to be getting? Like, what is it that I'm really wanting? How is it that I want to feel? That's really the bottom line, right? How do I want to feel in my relationship, ideally? If we could wave a magic wand over the situation, I want to feel loved. I want to feel secure. I want to feel cared for. I want to feel safe. I want an intimate connection. And if you are, if you're not getting that, then the next question is, how can I start to cultivate that within myself, right? If I want to feel, I'm not feeling loved, I'm not feeling appreciated, I'm not feeling valued, then I get to look at my own relationship with myself. Where am I not? Where am I not giving that to myself? Where am I not loving myself? Where am I not appreciating myself? Where am I not valuing myself? Because we sort of teach other people how to treat us, and this is the growth opportunities, right? It's like, what am I wanting from my partner that I'm not getting? How is it that I want to feel? And are those things that I first need to cultivate within myself? And guess what happens when we start to be able to give that to ourselves? Game changer. Changes everything. We are less willing to accept unacceptable behavior, but we're also we're also showing up and demanding respect. We're emanating that kind of energy. You know what I mean? Like, type in yes if this is making sense to you, if this is landing. And we can show up with that kind of energy for ourselves, that confidence, that clarity, that feeling of just being centered and standing in our own power, and then maybe also up-leveling our communication skills. That's how we start to get the clarity we need. It's like, we first got to get into alignment with ourselves, y'all, right? And I know this is a long process. This is the work that I do with people, but I'm hoping this is helpful for you today. This is really, really, the invitation is, would you be willing to accept responsibility for your own well-being? Know that this is my choice. This is my choice. I may not like this situation right now, but I get to choose how I want to show up for me right now, and I get to choose how I want to respond in this situation. So your bottom line, go-to question is always, what do I need to do today to just take care of myself? Let's get the focus off our partners, off what's not working, off trying to make them change and be different. It doesn't work. In case you didn't notice, it doesn't work that way, right? What do I need to do? Take charge of my own happiness. It's an inside job. How can I love myself up today? How can I honor how I feel? So, in the spirit of, if you're in the States, of the 4th of July, independence and freedom, this is my message for you today. My invitation for you today is, let's take back our independence, our power to choose. Our sense of freedom is such a real sense of power and freedom when I can really take responsibility for me and stop expecting other people to be in charge of my happiness and my well-being. That's our job. That's my job. It's everybody's job. It's everybody's job to find that first within ourselves, and then I can show up as the person I want to be in the relationship. And that's where our power lies, to start to shift and change things and see if it's possible to improve or to just get the clarity we need, and so that we can be happy no matter what. So give this a thumbs up if it was helpful for you today. I hope I'm making sense. I hope this is landing with you. And do me a favor, type in the comments the words self-love if you are recognizing this is something you would really like to learn more about how to cultivate. Let me know. And I'm thinking about putting together some sort of little course, some sort of little program, a little self-love series. So let me know if this is landing with you, because I know sometimes it's like people don't want to hear that. It's like, no, Risa, I just want him to be different. Just want them to change. If they would change, everything would be okay. I'd be happy. But well, that's what we're talking about today. Like, it just doesn't really work that way, and we gotta do that for ourselves first. No one can do that for you. So I love you. Type in self-love if you feel like that is something you want to learn more about how to do. I know it's a process, and just remember to take good care of you. That's always a good place to start. What do I need to do right now to just take care of me? So I love you. Enjoy your weekends. Give this a thumbs up if it was helpful. Type in self-love if you're interested in learning more about that. And yeah, just be gentle with yourself and enjoy your weekends. All right, we'll see you next time. Mwah. Bye for now.